Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dota Pit League Season 2 Group A match between Moscow 5 and Evil Geniuses. Of course, our second series of the day. Looking forward to casting it. Of course, my name's Bont. With me today is Nahaz. How you been, man?
I'm good. I am looking forward to seeing what happens in this series because this is one on paper, one of the bigger mismatches that you'll probably see. EG coming into this series, well, what can you say? They're playing EG Dota. And M5, there's no good way to put it. They've struggled a bit. They're 4-14 over the last 18 Pro Dota 2 matches, but there's a reason that they play the games, my friend.
Yeah, well, I hate to do this already, but it seems your drivers are screwing with your microphone yet again. As you're
all right, 1 second.
Well, hopefully. You're right, though. Moscow 5 having a bit of a rough time. They just went down to Virtus Pro 0-2 in that last series. They did not split the series. The second game was a bit closer than the first, but still not all that close as the end of the game pretty quickly. All things considered, there was a Naga Siren. Blow Your Brain played pretty well. So did Vigas, but the rest of the squad had a bit of a rough time. Specifically, Tron getting caught out a couple of times. PGG as well. King R had a good series, but for the most part, you look at the series and you expect EG to run over Moscow 5. I don't know. Moscow 5 are going to do their best to try to take this series, but Evil Genius is certainly one of the best right now in terms of Dota playing. So.
Oh yeah, I mean they were 27-7 in September, and they're just looking impossible to play against. And it really it burns me a little bit that there are people still out there hating on Mason. Like, come on, don't we have anything better to do? The guy's like not playing Pro Dota, and I thought he played very well for EG while he was there, but they've looked like a different team since having Fear back. And above all, it's really about variety. In their last 25 games, Fear has played 14 different heroes, PPD has played 15 different heroes, and Zai has played 18 in the last 25 games. I mean, this is a team right now that is almost impossible to draft against. And when you start talking about some of the upcoming lands like ESL this next weekend, I mean, it is so hard to prepare against a team like EG because of the variety that they bring to the table. They are going to start off pretty conservatively with kind of a 6.81 style draft with the Razor, but look for them to really branch out from here, I think.
Yeah, I really like your point about variety because honestly, they play so many different heroes, and Fear just has such a different and wide hero pool in comparison to Mason. Yeah, right. We talk about him a lot, and Mason was a fantastic player, but Fear is just a veteran and somebody that's been playing the game so long that he almost feels like he can not only play any hero but any role, which we've seen him do as well in the past. So Evil Geniuses are in a position now where they have a lot to work with. You mentioned the Razor picked up first, and that's not a big surprise. Arteezy loves this hero, but everything else could be kind of different from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, you give them something like a Razor and a Brewmaster, and they just win the game because they are so good with those two heroes for the entirety of the first about 25 minutes. And against EG, if you don't have a good first 25 minutes, the game's over. Mm-hmm. So even in this patch, right? So I really look for a response right away from M5 here. They need to think about who they're going to pick. I actually would really like to see them pick up the Panda. Vigas had a fairly good game against that hero mid against G in our last matchup, and I think it's important to deny that hero from Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, absolutely. I think getting him away from anything he's comfortable with. I mean, we saw what happens when you put Vigas in a lane where he's not very comfortable. He gets absolutely obliterated, and that's not his fault necessarily. The draft obviously was really in favor of Virtus Pro in that game, but I don't know. This draft is really going to be important, and Moscow 5 are taking a long time thinking about this and making sure.
And this is good. This is where you want to spend your reserve time, in my opinion, if you're M5. I mean, obviously, you don't want to get down to like 20 seconds like they are now, but you really want to think about the beginning of your draft here because EG are the kind of team that can take control of a game and a draft very early on. You mentioned, by the way, in addition to switching up their hero picks, I really liked your point about how flexible EG's positions are. You've seen in the last few weeks, their cores have really pretty much been interchangeable in a lot of these matches, and I really do like that. I think that kind of flexibility is really important, is an asset to an already impressive drafter in PPD.
And the one thing that is constant, I think, is PPD will almost always play support.
Oh,
Everything else is, like you said, interchangeable. You might see Universe playing in a tri lane. You might see Arteezy playing in the safe lane. You might see Zai playing a carry. You might see Fear playing something else other than what we're accustomed to seeing. So that's the thing about Evil Geniuses. And so often when we talk about, especially in 6.81, maybe not necessarily in 6.82, not yet anyways, is that having this kind of variety is super helpful. And I can't say that it's a bad thing in 6.82. It's got to be a huge boon for them.
Yeah, and the Abaddon pick, pretty unusual, but EG in 6.81 was 7-2 with this hero. Generally, it's going to be PPD who will usually play him, but I wonder if you might not see a core Abaddon here and there, here and there over the next couple of months. Abaddon, by the way, one of the few examples, the hero does actually say his own name in the game, and it is pronounced Abaddon. So so I screwed up there. But I do like the Bane Murana combo to open the draft from M5. It really, to me, it's recognizing that their big problem, especially in game 1 and also to some extent in game 2, was not really having supports that were active around the map. And I like this. You may see a core Murana out of Blow Your Brain. I've seen them run that before. And again, Blow Your Brain, an old school carry player, a lot of success going way back to his days with Team Empire. So he may get on that Murana, but I actually look for this Bane and Murana to be a support duo, and I think that's important. They want to try and be active around the map early against EG.
And this is something that they know full well. They've experienced, but on the other side, Jadam actually just wrecked them in that last series. So Moscow 5 have to get something going with this Murana. They know how important this combo can be, and Nightmare and Arrow is not the hardest to hit in the world, but with Evil Geniuses, you have to expect that they're not too scared about this combo. They've played against it. They're familiar with it. They might have even run it from time to time. So it's something they're expecting.
And they picked the Abaddon right away, right?
Exactly.
That Aphotic Shield can just completely ruin the Nightmare into Arrow combo. And if you don't have... That's kind of why my brain went to maybe you do fall back into a core Murana now, because at least that Abaddon, the EG will probably just go ahead and tri-lane this. Yes. And the presence of that Abaddon will mean that you just can't gank that lane.
It's just so difficult to play up against in this situation. And you don't see the hero too often, but in this situation, it's almost like, okay, well, listen, you pick these two heroes, they're now useless. Maybe not necessarily useless, but it's a lot more difficult to get kills with that combo. They want to be roaming around, they want to be effective early, and with an Abaddon, that makes it almost nigh impossible to do so. Aphotic Shield is so good against not only Bane, but Murana as well. The Nature's Prophet's going to come out, and this is one way to kind of just reinforce the fact that you're trying to gank early. You have a Nature's Prophet TP in and be very, very aggressive from Moscow 5.
Although, again, I still go back to the presence of that Abaddon. I mean, obviously, Nature's Prophet in any kind of try situation, just an incredibly powerful and effective hero. And I mean, that's just the way he's being built these days overall, with those early Null Talismans, sometimes into the Blade Mail, sometimes with the Orchid Rush that you saw out of Sylar at TI4. This hero is active around the map now a lot more in the early game than what we've seen, say, 6 months ago. Yeah. At the same time, Abaddon is the kind of hero that can really take those 4v3s in a tri lane early on and just turn them completely around. Now, the Alchemist, also a hero that they've run in really, I don't know about all 5 roles, but I've seen them run it in 4 out of the 5 roles.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hero they love, and is very versatile, like you mentioned. I've seen Universe play it most recently in the offlane. Doesn't have the best time usually when that's the case. I haven't seen Universe too much. He hasn't had too much success with it, but it's something that works out. And you can transition into a core, into a carry eventually with an Alchemist. It's a bit difficult, but it's doable because you will have Greevil's Greed. And then the Luna coming up from Moscow 5, they're just going to play the standard pressure, pushing down towers and getting Luna to Godzilla mode. So well, and Blow is just really, really solid on this hero. Just has had success on Luna going way back. They've run it recently. He's extremely consistent in terms of his farming. Is comfortable with fighting early on this hero. Doesn't really get pressured in lane like a lot of the other Lunas that you see out there. Remaining. So I think this is a really good pick coming out from them. And I really like this from M5. They're going with kind of a standard draft in the face of something a little different out of EG. Yeah, this is
Dire
just...
team ban.
I like the Luna pickup, and I wish we'd see this here more often. She's actually really good at just farming and just taking control of the game later on. It's almost like the Naga, but you don't have the illusions, but you can still do so much damage.
And we talked a little bit in one of the earlier drafts about how some of the
10
Lincoln's
seconds
heroes were
remaining.
really benefiting from the new slightly later push timings in 6.82.
seconds
I see Luna as benefiting from that hugely. Just the fact that Luna knows that she's
turn to
probably
ban.
going to have a good solid 15, 20 minutes to get that BKB online and maybe one or two other items. It's just such a boon to that hero because, by 20 minutes, she should be ready to fight.
Yeah, and this is the thing. That was the problem
10
with Luna in the last
seconds
patch, is that there just wasn't enough time for her to get up and get farmed, and a lot of the core heroes as well. Sometimes we would see some of the late game
Dire team
picks,
pick.
but I think now Luna has a lot of time to work with here, and this is actually surprisingly an Evil Geniuses pick. We've seen Arteezy, we've seen Fear play Luna before, so I'm surprised Moscow 5 pick it up. And it's a better hero, I think, for Blow Your Brain than a CK, at least in this game. So
hey, he had a good game on that hero. They just didn't. They just got face rolled by G on the Ember Spirit set up by
10
those two
seconds
supports. But
remaining.
I really do. I like the fact that they're kind of going back to
5
heroes that they
seconds
obviously
remaining.
feel comfortable with here. This to me, you can go one or two directions as an underdog. I mean, you can try and
Evil
run a
Geniuses,
pocket
turn
strat.
to
I understand that, but I think against an EG who just can really trot any 5 heroes out there and make a good lineup out of it, I think a pocket strat is just not going to work.
No, yeah, I agree with you 100%. This is somebody you have to beat on their terms. You have to win, and you have to win big. Against Evil Geniuses, it's very difficult. They pick up the Bat Rider as well, which is not necessarily a
10
hero that I
seconds
see Universe
remaining.
play too much, but he certainly is capable, as he is on almost every
5
off-lane
seconds
hero.
remaining.
Maybe with the exception of Clockwork. And I don't like to give Universe a lot of flack because I think he's one of the best, if not the best
Reserve
off-laner in the
time.
world, but his Clockwork, I've seen it before, might need some work.
It's
And
not,
the Witch
it's not
Doctor.
horrible. It's not as consistent. That's the thing about Universe is that really with in a lot of other scenarios, offlane players tend to be the highest variance players from game to game on most teams, just because they'll have games where they can stay in lane, they get early levels, and they're really able to do something. And they have other games that they just get shut down. It's not their fault. It's sort of intrinsic to the role.
True.
Universe is just incredibly consistent, and so it's notable when you have any hero
Prepare
that he's
for
sort of
battle.
up and down on, like he can be on Clockwork. But I've seen him have some good Clockwork games as well.
All right, that's fair.
Out of this lineup, though, I really do like the Witch Doctor coming out here as a 5th pick. I mean, the Abaddon and the Witch Doctor, obviously it's a little bit on the defensive side. And you know what? The funny thing was, when we were talking during the draft about the Alchemist, one of the only roles that I don't see EG run the Alch on is in the 1 position. And they're going to do that here with Fear. They're going to tri-lane around a farming Alchemist.
Universe has been all about the Disney recently. It's literally all he does. All he does on Twitter is post pictures of Disney stuff with his teammates photoshopped on. Meanwhile, Zai getting caught out, maybe. Aggro tri-lane, or maybe they're just being aggressive. Look at Blow Your Brain. He runs out into the middle of the lane. Evil Geniuses are like,
30
let's back
seconds
up
to
here.
battle.
Yeah.
So
They're going to be aggressive. I mean, they were able to create an early first blood in that last game against VP with a rotation into the Dire jungle when they were playing on the Radiant side. So they're looking for something a little easy here. And I don't necessarily if they keep Blow Your Brain down here, it definitely will be a dedicated tri lane, and that's what they're going to do. I don't mind this.
meanwhile, Zai gets it up in the air. Photic Shield's gonna go, and he's fine right now.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Photic
The
Shield does some
battle
damage.
begins.
To King R. Zai takes a bit of a lick, but he will back up. He picks his tango up and keeps going. I don't know about this tri-lane with an Abaddon in it. This lane's very difficult, although it is going to be a melee hero against the farming Luna, so maybe Fear won't have the best time. But with Acid Spray and right-click damage coming through, and anything else like Cask and a Photic Shield, this might be a hard lane. They are keeping the Luna down here. You see a rotation. King R actually picked up the Invis rune, and there is no ward on that middle lane, so Arteezy has to be very careful. They had no ward on the bottom rune spot either. They have no idea this is happening, but they do see King R. There's the Nightmare coming in. Arrow's going to connect on Arteezy. Venomous Gale as well. Looks like they will pick up this first blood. PGG taking tower hits, but Arteezy is going to fall, and PGG grabs the kill. Nicely done coming out from Moscow 5. They need to keep that pressure on. And
Great recognition.
A bit late, but
I mean, it was fortunate, obviously, to get the Invis rune there on your Bane Mirana combo. That just all but guarantees a first blood. But great awareness from them to rotate up to mid lane. As you said, it's going to be very hard for them to make the ganks happen bottom. I actually really liked that play by PPD there in the first exchange. He actually held on to the aphotic shield, let the arrow hit Zai, and just to make sure that he was aphotic out of that long stun. But Fear's going to eat an arrow here too.
PPD does have the aphotic. He's going to use it real quick, and they can't get anything going. Casca's going to bounce through a couple of times, but only level 1, not really doing the damage they want it to do. And EG, they're off to an okay start. I mean, you look at the CS, it's pretty much going the way of EG, and the problem really, I think, is the first blood goes the way of M5, but how much is that going to help them in this game? And you're going to have Static Link, it's already level 2, and again, you will have Plague Wards pretty soon for Vegas, but is that enough in this lane?
Well, I mean, the answer is if they can't do something in this try-v-try situation, it's not going to help them at all. Yeah. They do have what they need, I think, to pressure Fear, even if they can't necessarily make the kills happen. And they definitely can do something like this. If Zai is going to roam around here and try and stack in the jungle, they can make kills happen on him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Zai's a bit alone now, and he did try to stack, but a really nice play from Moscow 5 to rotate over and make sure that he couldn't get that done. So that's actually just another camp not going their way. Nightmare might go, but they have PPD with the aphotic shield. The problem is if they Nightmare PPD, there's a good chance that he probably goes down because they don't have an aphotic to help him. He'll just get arrowed, he'll die, unless they are able to stand in front and body block the arrow. Counter ward from Zai, nice play here. He knows that there's the ward. He'll have enough gold for boots now as well, so rotations are okay. Arteezy starts static linking some illusions, so even when Vegas is in a good position, he still loses a lot of damage or gives away a lot of damage with.
Yeah, this is a very hard lane for a Venomancer, and you know the theory goes that Veno can kind of play a little passively and CS with his wards. I don't think you can do that against an Arteezy. I think you have to actively contest Arteezy's farm.
This is the problem. I mean, Arteezy on cooldown is static linking like crazy, and
why not? Why would you not?
Yeah, I mean the mana cost is nothing, so.
And Veno, right? I mean, Veno's only a 450 range hero, right? And he's only level 3. I mean, you should be draining him nonstop right now. And yes, while it's true that that Veno can CS with his wards fairly safely here in lane, I mean, what's he going to do until then?
Yeah. I mean,
Arteezy already, look at this. Look at this. Arteezy already over a full level ahead, and he was the one that gave up the first blood.
And he might even just dive for this kill on Vegas. He has Plasma Field, he decides against it, but this is a really rough lane. This is like game 1 in the last series for Vegas. He's just getting shut out. He can't get anything done, and Arteezy's just going to town.
It's not. It really is not his fault. It's just I know that the theory crafting and that on paper matchup says that Veno is a hero that you pick to deal with Razor's lane advantage. I've just always hated it. I think it's playing to not lose, not playing to win.
I think if you, the only time I liked it was when Mushi was doing it in MLG Columbus. I mean, that's Mushi for you, though. That's
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's asking a lot of the Venomancer to hold his own even until those wards come online to let him control the lane of equilibrium.
Getting nightmared. Arrow does connect on Fear. Fear actually blocked it. That was a little duration stun. Meanwhile, PPD's running and blow your brain. They're trying to get this kill. And there will be the unstable concoction. They grab it. Zai's still alive. Buddha restoration. He finally goes down. Leap away from PGG. Unstable is up in 5. Miscoil. He's got 7 HP. He's going to eat his way through and try to TP out. He's actually going to make it. What a TP scroll from PGG.
Wow, just to be able, I mean, obviously it's a kill on your core for an enemy support. You never want that, but just to be able to make that a 1-for-1 trade was very nice. That should not have gone even for M5.
Should have been so much worse, but it does turn out somewhat okay for M5. Universe in the top lane, we haven't talked much about him.
Jeez.
23 last hits. This is an okay matchup for Nature's Prophet, but you're not going to stop Universe from farming. It's just not going to happen. And he continues to farm the creep camps, and obviously the treants as well are very important. He's running right at Tron here. He's got 1,000 gold to bank as well. Universe having a heck of a time in this top lane.
These 1v1 lanes are just, I mean, we've spent some time talking about the try-v-try. Obviously, you always are going to when that happens in a match, but these 1v1 lanes, the wheels are just coming off.
Oh no, Fear stuns himself, Zai walks in, and this is a problem. Tron now TP's in, they want to get involved. Zai looks like he will fall. Phonic Shield's righty, but
you had to have
great
that.
Rotation from M5. Arrow! Gonna hit on PPD! PGG with a beautiful arrow. PPD looks like he's done. And they will grab all three in that tri-lane. That's what they needed to get done. They need a lot more of that.
And they had to have that. This game was going to get out of control extraordinarily quickly had that sequence not occurred. You see the kind of incredible CS lead that Arteezy has earned mid. Universe's Batrider completely controlling the map against the Nature's Prophet. That absolutely had to happen, or M5 was going to get out of this game quickly.
Yeah, and that gives them a lot. That gave them actually like 1,000 gold and took away some of the net worth advantages. It is pretty early on here, but the problem for me is that I don't know how much farm you're actually getting on Blow Your Brain. There's going to be a Blink soon coming out for Universe, and more importantly, Arteezy is getting complete free farming. He's got 40 last hits in 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes in the game, so. Yeah,
that to me, again, I think you need probably another one of those TPs down from Transitish's Prophet, if not two. You need to keep putting the pressure down here, or the CS advantage in those 1v1 lanes is just going to eat you alive.
Yeah, I mean, this is... They need to get involved early on, and I completely agree with you. PPD getting caught. He does have a Aquatic Shield, so much for Venomous Gale. Yeah. That's probably not the hero you want to Venomous Gale, unless you have an arrow to follow up with it, but...
Yeah, I was a little bit, I don't know, we had already said enough about EG's draft, but I was a little bit questioning the Venomancer as a fifth pick anyway, just because of the Aphotic Shield.
Well, they rotate the Venomancer down, and this gives even more free farm for Arteezy, but they're trying to pressure the tower. I like the decision. I just don't know if they're going to be able to get this tower with Acid Spray.
If you're going to pressure the tower like this, you have to be faster. And the fact that Veno is a little behind in levels, only has the level 3 wards now.
Oh boy,
he's got to be careful.
Just juice it.
Arteezy just might have a 1v1 kill here. Okay, nice Gale.
Well, looks like Vegas might get out. Plasma Field, not enough damage, but now Vegas has to back away and maybe even head home. And that's just Arteezy going to work. The Gale does hit, so Arteezy can't continue to chase. Waiting for bot rune, he will find a bouncy, making sure it doesn't get denied. He'll kill the creep or the plague ward real quick. And top rune, it is going to be Vegas not picking it up. Actually, Universe picked up the regen rune and he pops it. He also has his blink dagger, and that's before 8 minutes. Firefly,
just forget it. This
Tron
is ridiculous.
Is dead. Blink, lasso, Firefly's going. Zai comes in as well. Tron, my friend, you are going to fall. The cat's bouncing around. He's done. Easy gank coming up from Universe. The easy early blink dagger. How does this guy do it? Sometimes, man, I don't know.
That's Universe, man, and it's not just that he does that every so often. It's haha like clockwork. Worst thing ever.
Haha was the best part of that.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Kill me now. All right. EG is gonna have a hard time losing this game here unless M5 can really pull some fights out. And this.
Arteezy getting caught out. It does connect, taking a long duration stun.
A shot here.
He is so tanky. Plasma Field. Now the Aphotic Shield coming out. Are you kidding? He's gonna kill Vegas easy. Try to TP out. Miss Coil. He makes it. Now here comes Universe. No last, but PGG, my friend, you have no mana, you have no leap. Flame Break, you're back on the low ground, and you are gonna fall. That's a nice sprout, but not enough to save him. Universe now looking for 3. Tron getting chased down. Sticky and Napalm, you are in trouble. No Flame Break, he won't continue further, but just like that, EG catch back up in terms of kills. They're already ahead in terms of net worth, and beautiful.
Yeah. And to me, EG DK did this very well as well, but they're so good at drafting differently against different opponents.
Brain Sap, Fear, he does have Chemical Rage on cooldown for 10 seconds. Nightmare taken away. Actually, the Trance took it away unbelievably. Salve up! Fear gonna try to juke this out. They're going too deep. The Salve's still going. Chemical Rage is up. Unstable Concoction. Can he get it off? No, he's about to fall and will. But look at all of these heroes so low. Vegas bottling up, but will it be enough? Just barely. He stays alive. Coming through on the bottom lane is gonna be PPD. He's so slow.
Arteezy here.
Here comes Plasma Field. TP out from Tron. Curse of Avernus, do they have it? No, they don't need it though. Vegas is gonna fall, and meanwhile, Zai takes the top lane. TP coming in. Zai for the restoration. He stays alive. Here comes PGG. Universe, no man for a lasso. Sticking a pump Firefly up as well. PGG, no leap available.
That
PGG
is a
about to
sad
fall.
cat. Oh my goodness.
Oh my
bad
God.
kitty.
Cute. Universe. He gets out of there. He's like, I'm peacing. Goodbye, everybody.
Wow.
Hey, little Mao. My
Cat
God.
just pooped outside the litter box.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, yeah, this is a little bit out of control, but I was saying about EG, what they do, they approach the draft differently depending on the opponent, and it sounds like a small thing, but I mean, they know they're playing a CIS team. They know that they're probably going to be facing a lot of early aggression. So what do? I mean, they come out and pick that Abaddon with the second overall pick in their draft, and it's just such a cock blocking hero.
It really is. It's just, I mean, it's just like, hey, listen, we know you have this really strong combo. We don't care. It's not getting off. The Photic Shield's just going to kill you. There's something you can do about it. Lasso, Vegas. What a rough game, man. 3 deaths, only phase, and some GG branches. It's getting out of control pretty quickly. 5,000, almost 7,500 net worth lead for Evil Geniuses. Because why the hell not? You know? Just why not?
And look, it's funny because obviously when you watch EG play, there's going to be no shortage of great jukes and good plays overall, but this is really all about the draft to me.
I agree 100%. And that's just PPD playing his game, playing his draft. I mean, this guy knows how to pick heroes, and he has some really solid drafts overall, and he just shows another one here. Not that the game is over, but I don't know really any way M5 get back in this unless you get blow your brain free farm for the next 10 to 15 minutes. But they're not going to be able to get free farm without losing a lot. King R's getting chased down. RTZ has a haste rune. He might even just kill King R. Plasma Field's going to go. PGG has no leap. Double kill for RTZ. He literally dives into tier 3 tower. Tron, what are you doing, buddy? I don't know about that. Sprout did come up. I have the storm going. Plasma Field up in 3 seconds. Case doesn't care about
Are you
the
serious?
Gale. Tron's dead. Does get the kill.
My God.
You guys trying to TP out. You're not making a triple kill for Artor. Oh,
It's 12:40, and Arteezy just got a triple kill in the shadow of the tier 3 towers. Are you kidding me?
Oh, I mean, this is just... And Fear picks up a Midas because why the hell not? I mean, now he's going to be fine.
Why wouldn't you, man?
I mean, he could just pick up like a BKB and this game would be over, or something. Anything to just fight early on, and this game's probably over. But I guess the Midas is fine. So you have Greevil's Greed, you're going to get enough farm anyways, but...
This is Fear saying I could build whatever the hell I want. Shut up, casters. I mean, I'm fine with that.
I mean, listen, I've seen him build Midas and Battle Fury on, like, not only that hero, but this is one as well, and he might just do it. Knowing Fear, he might go back to the Battle Fury Midas on the Alchemist. And, well, Blink Lasso. Well, there is going to be a Thieves Group. They might get this kill on Universe. This is a big, big bounty if they can pick it up, but he is no Firefly. He actually gets the ball. Tron gets the kill. And it's 419 gold plus a little bit of bounty gold going the way of Tron, plus a lot of experience.
Yeah, and blow your brain thinking about it here on the tail end of that Moonlight Shadow, but boy, oh boy, that would be a risky engagement.
Arteezy is going for an Aghanim Scepter. In fact, has it once he gets his point booster, which, by the way, is
Get
done
out
in
of
14 minutes.
Just go away. Are you serious? Anyway, I'm going to stop saying that because it's getting old already. But yeah, 14-minute Aghanim Scepter, triple kill at 12:30 under the tier 3s. Arteezy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this guy's pretty impressive. If you haven't known about it already, this guy knows how to play some Dota. But that's just a favorable matchup for him mid that he just decimates. And for M5, there's not much on the map that they can do to deal with him now. I mean, yeah, even if you get farm on Blow Your Brain, you're just going to get static linked and brought down. And if Arteezy gets a BKB, there's absolutely no way you're killing him. He's already too tanky as it is, so...
Yeah, I was wondering a little bit because I was one of those around the time of TI4. I mean, Arteezy had a good tournament, but I wondered aloud at TI4 whether Arteezy was maybe the 3rd best player on his own team. But if you look at his numbers recently, I mean, he's right back there. He's 575 GPM in September. That's like by far the highest of any pro player. And I mean, there are plenty of other teams out there that are winning. So it's not like it's just that EG has this big win percentage and that's why Arteezy is leading in that category. He really is back to playing the dominant Dota that EG has played at their absolute peak. And I don't know. like I said, there's a reason that they play the games. Their games are not played on paper, but just in terms of breaking down the matchups, I don't know that there's a team in the world that I would give the advantage to over EG right now.
I mean, EG is just playing so solidly. And obviously, there are a couple of lands coming up that will determine who really is the best, but for now, EG's probably playing the best Dota. And the thing is, I'm going to be a bit of a hipster here, and most American Dota, well, that thought is BTG's going to come out.
He's probably going to go down again. There's
Lee's good, but he's actually just dead.
Sorry. No. Go be a hipster, Mott, because I think I know what you're going to say here.
Well, RTZ is getting ganked.
Oh, no.
I can't even get this point across. They're going to oops him. That's a lot of gold. Make a kill streak. 497 gold plus a bit of bouncy gold going the way of King R. He's up to 1,600 gold all of a sudden. So they get 1,300 gold out of that, 2,300 experience. Anyways, in North American Dota, people have known RTZ's been a damn good player for some time. Way back before he was even on a team. Before KP, before Evil Geniuses. He played on a team called Gratz, though. There was another team he played before that, which Grant will talk about quite often. But this guy, you look at him in his playing in in-house leagues, in C9DL and NEL and IXDL, before he became a part of EG. And everyone in North America knew this guy was good. You know, and I got to cast him when he played with some other small teams like Gratz, though. And it's exciting to see where he is now. Again, they're up against, who would have thought that RTZ, back in 2011, goes up some of the legends like Vigas, for example, in some pro Dota games and gets to TI and plays, gets third place. So
yeah, that's why I have been a fan of NEL for a very long time, and I know you've done a lot of casting for them. And Mike had a post a while back with Spitwad about the importance of in-house leagues and their role in the health of the game, and I just couldn't agree more with that. You got to have some kind of developmental system. The Universe probably going to get another kill here.
Tron getting brought down. He's got a blast on him right now. The Casca's going to bounce through, and Tron, although he does have an Orchid, which is pretty solid considering how this game has gone, at 17 minutes, he has no Midas, and that's really all they've got is just Tread's Orchid. I mean, you have some heroes getting decent farm. The Luna's starting to get up there right now. Blow Your Brain with the drum finished up, but he's got to get towards the BKB. Arrow! Universe is just standing still. He's caught out PBD looking for the Aphotic Shield. Might throw it in just a moment here. And I don't know if they get this kill. Nightmare trying to go in PBD. No such luck. All the meanwhile, top is getting pressured from EG. And
but how many times have we seen that already? I mean, the Arrow, the Gale, it's just... Yeah, you feel like you say this so many times in EG games, but it just Abaddon is like a hard counter. Here's RTZ is probably going to go down again, but no, this time Zai in position.
TP in, mods up for Universe down. Nature's Rap's doing a heck of a lot of damage here. RTZ's Eye of the Storm blowing up Tron and the Static Link as well. Zai trying to get the kill. Looks like he will. They'll turn back their attention on Blow Your Brain at PGG. Starstorm not getting the kill. Mistquill does grab it. Bottle up, Plasma Field. King R solo, Aphotic Shield. RTZ, it's his turn to dive, and he will go for the kill. King R, Brain Sap, not enough damage.
Are you serious?
Mistcoil and Urn doing some serious work for Evil Geniuses. They take 3 kills in a fight that Moscow 5 should have backed away from as soon as they lost their first hero. EG takes yet another fight.
So this is where I confess what all of you already knew, that I'm just a ridiculous nerd and there's probably something wrong with me, but I love watching RTZ on tanky heroes like Razor and like Dragonite, because he has just such a good awareness of how to position himself in these engagements where he's eating a lot of damage, but he's just short of getting killed. It's like he has, those little rings on the map when you mouse over a skill that show the range of that skill. Like, the way I picture RTZ playing is that he can see all of those rings for every hero in the game on his screen at the same time. That's how I see him playing in these fights. He's continuously just going forward and backward, just putting himself barely out of range of certain skills, and it's really kind of neat to watch.
Yeah, he's got good game sense, and we talked a lot about how, and this isn't just necessarily RTZ though, we talked a lot about how Gene, his supports made a lot of room for him and made him a great player. It's the same for Evil Geniuses, and it's often joked about how Zai will make so much space and do so much for RTZ, and it's just like almost like Zai is just his slave essentially. That's not necessarily the case, obviously, because Zai is a bit greedy, but the supports do so much work for Evil Geniuses. For M5, they just don't have that, I think. Although you have Vigas, and I mean, he's a fantastic player, but this is something that M5 can rectify. King R is a very new player to this team. Before he was on this squad, Nexus was playing for them, and that's not the case for M5 anymore. So they have a new lineup for the most part. And they could still be good, but right now they're getting jumped on, and Vigas is getting caught in again with the lasso. Fear pops the unstable. All of a sudden, he's got a Midas, an armlet, and a Vitality booster out of nowhere. Blow Your Brain's about to fall in the eye of the storm. Eclipse not going to get off. PGG cannot leave up to the high ground, and he'll get blown up as well. PBD with the killing spree, and they're running over this tier 2 tower and the rest of the team of Moscow 5.
Yeah, they may go ahead and call this here in the next several minutes. EG closing in on the kind of lead that I'm not sure you can come back from in one of these matches. They do have the Nature's Prophet, and Tron's not playing a bad game at all, but like you said, the support's just creating an unbelievable amount of space for EG in this match, and King R probably going to go down here. Oh, no.
That's really good. Fiend's Grip, but that did nothing at all.
Yeah.
Chemical Rage popped, boom. Back up to full health in the matter of a second. And this is, Alchemist is pretty tanky. It's tough to deal with it. It's less about the right click as a core, but more about the acid spray and unstable concoction early on in the game. Then later on, with that armlet, you could just be tanky and even right click down some heroes and do some damage. So.
Right, and I really like the fact that Fear going ahead and getting the Midas in this match, but turning around and picking up the armlet, a much more traditional mid-game fighting item.
Yes, and that was my concern. Is like, if you're gonna pick up a Midas, I mean, you could have gotten an item that would have just let you fight and kill people early on, but this secures the late game, I think, for EG.
Right. I mean, Alchemist, a hero that certainly can make a very strong transition into the late game anyway, but with that Midas and Grievel's Greed, you know, without an unbelievable amount of space on the map for Tron's Nature's Prophet, I'm not sure that they can keep up.
Unstable concoction being brought up by Fear, throws on a PGG who will leap away, but no, you can't get away from that, buddy. Yeah, PGG gonna get brought down. Mist Coil blowing him up, armlet, and the Gale actually saves PGG's life only to die maybe to acid spray. He's gonna throw out an arrow before dying.
Oh, come on.
I don't know about that one, dude.
Yeah, he could have made it out. Boy, that's a little unfortunate.
It's just a PGG mono play right there, I suppose. Roshan is available for the taking. They're going to counter work quickly. They want this tier 2 tower. Meanwhile, RTZ is in the top lane, and Blow Your Brain is actually just going to die. Maybe they can't get the lasso off the flame break as well, and actually he does be away smartly from the gank for Arteezy after he stole 84 damage. So
I mean, Arteezy just setting up camp here in the top left of the map. This is just his area.
Arteezy just juked Blow Your Brain like crazy. Now there's a TP coming in from Tron, but Arteezy's like, I can kill you. Orchid, Lasso, Tron is actually dead. Firefly breaks down the tree line. Fiend's Grip is going to go, keeping him alive for a moment. The right click for the creep actually gets the kill. Arteezy does fall, however. Big pickup coming out from M5. Moonlight Shadow, arrow sailing through, but not on the target, as the Universe just walks down to the low ground here. And they'll work on this tier 2 tower in the bottom lane for Fear.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Arteezy getting a little bit out of position there in that top lane. You know, he had been staking his claim to that area of the map, but he had to know that M5 was going to bring all 5 heroes up there eventually, or at least 4. They are going to try and slow the push on the tier 2 tower bottom with Venomancer's wards, but again, it just sort of feels inexorable right now for EG. Look at that gold lead. Whoa.
Just disgusting at 23 minutes in. And Moscow 5 have been on the receiving end of some really rough games. However, great 4-step coming out. I believe that was Universe keeping his teammate, his comrade alive. There's the ultimate coming out. They blow up Vigas. They push back everyone else. PGG sitting here at about half health. And they will take down Blow Your Brain. Inadvisably jumping into the fight. Zai with the double kill. And he's looking at it go, man.
I mean, Saturday Night Fever, my friend, just giving the Witch Doctor a free double kill. Not sure about that decision making, but again, you can't really, in fairness, you can't really evaluate player decisions in a match like this. You kind of throw the playbook out the window and try and make a couple of plays and fights, but otherwise you probably are going to call GG here after losing racks.
M5 are just trying to throw up some Hail Mary passes here and throw up the surface.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's not working out for them. Guys, for you people that don't watch football, it's a football reference. I know a lot of you aren't Americans, so figured I'd just let you know. So, but Fear working on the racks now, and this is going to be the first set of racks. And GG not called yet, but for all intents and purposes, Moscow 5. There's one way they get back in this game, and I think that's probably a rapier. I don't even think that's enough. So. Oh
yeah, I'm not sure that a rapier isn't just a donation to the cause at this point.
Yeah, but at the same time, Moscow 5 are going to get some experience out of this game. They want to finish things up, try to get a couple of kills, and maybe even talk about what they can do right in the next game.
Exactly. That's kind of what I hope to see happening here. Oh, as King R is going to get his TP stop, turns around and grips the Universe, but to what effect?
Oh, might get the kill here. Tron jumps in,
nice.
looking. The Universe looks like he will fall to
Still
Soul
kill
Burn.
him.
And, yep. No, oh my god, 7
my
HP.
goodness.
7 HP for Universe. Wow. Meanwhile, they're running over mid. PGG gets dusted. There's a sentry on the ground as well. There's going to be the ultimate coming up from Blow Your Brain, but Blow Your Brain gets blown up. 3 dead. GG called. Game 1 in the books in EG with their first game of the Dota Pit League Season 2. Off to a fast start. 1-0 for them. And really good game. Solid draft. Amazing play coming out from the American squad.
And I just imagine if any of the teams or players going to ESL are watching this game, they're probably asking the same question that we are. How do you beat EG? M5 have one more chance to do it, and we'll see in a minute.
Yeah, we'll see if EG goes down in this next game or if they can get off to that fast start and look for that 2-0 advantage here. Next game will be our last for the Dota Pit League Season 2, guys. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure casting Dota Pit League Season 2 for you.